Pardon the voice, by the way. I've been screaming a little bit tonight, and the Packers take it on the chin. They lose 28-22 to the Seattle Seahawks. So rather than me just going on some kind of a complete rant, I want to take some of your questions because some of you, it's kind of like arguing with Jerry Springer guests. No matter what I throw in front of you, that's a fact. You'll say, well, okay, yeah, but Mike McCarthy sucks. Well, tell me why he sucks, and we get into this whole discussion. So I figured I'd just take some of your questions. Jack in Beloit writes that McCarthy's not aggressive by going for it on first and goal. Why not go for it on fourth down? So my answer to you is just like he did against Buffalo, just like he did against Detroit, just like he did against Dallas. You know, I mean, you got to take the points there. He wasn't wrong. Look, the offense didn't do their job. From weeks 1 through 15, the Packers had 8 touchdowns on 8 plays from the 1-yard line. Since then, including today, they have 2 touchdowns on 13 plays from the 1-yard line. They ran Eddie Lacy wide. They ran John Kuhn up the gut. They tried to throw the football to Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson dropped the pass. I mean, Mike McCarthy's play calling was correct right there. It wasn't executed. So then I get another one, and this one is from Hayton Zach on Twitter. Hayton Zach. Why not run a trick play in the red zone like Belichick did in the AFC Championship game? No guts. He never runs a trick play, meaning McCarthy. So my question to you is like he did with Julius Peppers. And then everybody criticized the hell out of him for running that play and not just giving it to Eddie Lacy because Peppers dropped the ball. Be careful what you wish for because some of you are so quick to forget. Ed, listening to us in Nashville, writes, does the 3rd and 19 feel like that 4th and 26 out of Philadelphia? Absolutely. Absolutely. It took the wind out of your sails. I mean, if you were a defensive player rushing 3, let me stop for a second. I thought that was a turning point in the game. Some will disagree, some will agree, whatever. That's fine. But I thought at that point, you were just eating them up defensively. You were allowing your guys to just basically be unleashed and go after them, and they were getting the job done. Dom Capers rushed 3. That was a conservative wuss play call. That really was. I appreciated the game plan coming into this. I watched Dom Capers call a beautiful game, and then he got to that point, and he crapped the bed. He crapped the bed. He went with a prevent defense, and he took away the aggressiveness. And the whole team felt it. The coaching staff crapped the bed right there. And then later in the ballgame, you go with Mike McCarthy. This one comes to us from Lisa from Green Bay saying, did Mike McCarthy get conservative with the play calling? Or was the whole game plan bad? The game plan was fantastic. The execution was terrible down in the red zone. We all know that. But the game plan was good for Mike McCarthy. Okay? You can't fault the play calling because the play calling, when they needed to move the ball down to get the field goal, they moved the ball right down the field. They did a fantastic job. But with 4 or 5 minutes to go in that game, and he had those 3 straight runs, again, Mike McCarthy crapped the bed. You did. Just admit it. Oh, we got to get to 20 play calls. We got to get to 20 runs. Why? I mean, I'm sure there's a statistic that says you get to 20 runs between Eddie Lacy and James Starks, and there's probably things that begin to happen. You probably start to break a few of these plays loose. And I understand big gains and you got goals you want to hit. But in that situation, you go with your gut, man. You don't look at a sheet that says, well, I haven't gotten to 20 yet, so I better run the ball 3 straight times. That's crap in the bed. That's an excuse. Oh, I wouldn't change the play call. Then you're dumb. Come on, Mike. You're better than that. Just admit. Say, hey, you know what? Probably could have done a little bit more there. You're absolutely right. It's going to be something that you and I are going to second guess, at least until we win another Super Bowl or get back to one. You crapped the bed. You did. You screwed up. Just admit it. Be a man. Admit it. Admit you screwed up. The game plan, the play calling, everything. Beautiful. The last 5 minutes of the game, you screwed up. You and Dom Capers crapped the bed. I defend you. But just admit it. Don't stand there and be condescending to everybody else. Then your last one. This is from Gary in Jacksonville, Florida. It says, can you give us the top 3 things that the Packers need going into next season? And talking about the NFL draft or free agency. Well, to me, your top 3 things are middle linebacker, tight end, and then you need more speed at the wide receiver position. Those are the 3 big things I think that can get this team back to a Super Bowl. Look, you've got a good team coming back. You got to figure out what you're going to do with the secondary, because obviously Tramon Williams is owed money and he's going to become a free agent. Devon House is going to become a free agent. You want to take care of one or both of those guys. You got Randall Cobb to think about. You do have a guy that, for maybe the veterans minimum, you can bring back in B.J. Raji to give yourself some depth. I mean, I think it's a good team. It's a good locker room. You want to keep that chemistry together. You're going to make a few tweaks, but this has to be the learning experience. You are not going to have success come to you. You got to go get it. And when you play not to lose rather than going to grab a victory, this is the kind of crap that happens. So, look, I think McCarthy is a fantastic coach. I'm not here to say fire McCarthy. That's stupid, okay? But don't be condescending to us and say, well, I wouldn't second-guess anything. Well, then you're stupid, because the man that continually does the same thing over and over again only hits insanity, because you're never going to change the outcome. I think it was a fantastic season. I think the Packers early on this year had a lot of things going on, and they didn't look very good, and they regrouped, and especially when Mike McCarthy went to Dom Capers midway through the season, right after that horrific game in which they couldn't tackle anybody in New Orleans, and said, we're going to put the best 11 on the field. I think that was a changing point. The defense came together. Everything began to gel. I think you deserve a lot of credit. I think Dom Capers deserves a lot of credit. But in the biggest moment, don't look us in the eye and say we did everything we could to win the ball game. That's all I'm asking. Packers fans, it's been a hell of a season. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
Awesome.